All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Raiders Daily. The Raiders this past weekend kicking off their preseason with a 34-7 domination. Both sides of the football, they looked good, man. These young cats looked really good. The defensive line looked super solid. Aiden O'Connell looked super solid. Zamir White looked money. There are a lot of positives with this Las Vegas Raiders first preseason game. Now, I know it is preseason, and we're taking it with a grain of salt, but nonetheless, I really liked the way a lot of these rookies, second-year players showcased their talent. Aiden O'Connell, 15 of 18, and a touchdown, 141 yards. He had a quarterback rating of 117.8. Zamir White, a player who didn't see much action in his rookie season, with a potential departure of Josh Jacobs at some point sooner rather than later. It seems like the clock is ticking. 1 year from now, it doesn't really appear like Josh Jacobs will be on the Las Vegas Raiders. Zamir White could play a role in that. We didn't see him, like I said, much in his rookie season, but 13 carries, 43 yards, and a touchdown. All Zamir White needs is more action. It's literally all he needs. This guy was a stud in Georgia. He was a stud in high school. The dude is an absolute animal. He's a tank, and I'm extremely excited about him. Unfortunately, last year, expectations, there weren't many expectations, but, I wouldn't say he exceeded expectations because, like I said, there just wasn't really anything there in his rookie season because he was behind the best running back in the National Football League in Josh Jacobs. One thing I want to say really quickly that, and by the way, that defense was hungry. We'll talk about the defense in a second. One thing that I was kind of thinking about when I was watching that game was, first off, Aiden O'Connell, we liked the draft pick a lot because, first off, Aiden O'Connell's a good quarterback, but we really liked the scheme fit. Josh McDaniels does not run a simple offense. Aiden O'Connell looked in control. He looked poised. He looked like the leader of the offense, the leader of the team out there on the field. For a rookie in his first live reps in the National Football League, I know it's San Francisco's second stringers or whatever. Nonetheless, the dude looked like it was not his first time live in the NFL. So it got me thinking, man. What if Jimmy G gets the Raiders? Keep in mind, the Raiders made the playoffs a year and a half ago. But before we actually get into this video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. For daily Raiders content, you guys are blessing my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. If we could try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the world to me. We're really pushing for 10,000 subscribers by the start of the regular season. The Raiders were a playoff team a year and a half ago, right? Jimmy G was one of the best statistical QBs last season. In fact, Jimmy Garoppolo was the NFC's highest rated qualified passer last season. And he's healthy. We didn't see him in the first preseason game, but it got me thinking, what if Jimmy G gets this Raiders team off to a 6-2 start, gets injured, and Aiden O'Connell comes in here like Brock Purdy of San Francisco last season and just goes on this massive winning streak, gets you into the playoffs. It just got me dreaming for a second. We went into the offseason thinking, what the hell is going on with the Raiders quarterback situation? Who's it going to be? Right? We're hearing Aaron Rodgers, we're hearing Tom Brady, but there's no shot that happens. Those are, very small probabilities of those coming out. So who's it going to be? They go out there, they get Jimmy G, they draft Aiden O'Connell. It would just be really funny and it would be awesome. It would be more awesome than funny if the Raiders had a completely loaded quarterback room when in reality, a couple months ago, everyone outside of Raiders fans was like, ooh, the Raiders quarterback situation is a mess. Don't want to jump the gun here. It was the first preseason game, but it really looks like there is something there with Aiden O'Connell. All right, that defense was all over the frickin' ball, man. They sacked Trey Lance 4 times. I mean, they could have had easily 5. I actually thought they had 5. I'm a little surprised that it isn't 5. These guys were just chasing the football, and that's the difference maker, man. I really liked the commentators and how they were saying, in the past, all the way up until it felt like last year's lackluster season, it felt like you never want to play the Raiders. It doesn't matter what the Raiders record is. This team is going to give you all that they have, and they're going to physically leave everything out there on the field, and it's terrifying. That's what the Raiders defense you want to get back to, and the addition of Marcus Peters is absolutely money, but there were some guys, some rookie players like Amari Burney. not the biggest linebacker. He had a beautiful sack. I think that was the 4th sack for him. Amari Burney had a really solid game. Quarterback hit with that sack, including the tackle for loss. It's 3 for 1 there. He had a pass deflection. He had 4 total tackles. 3 of those were solo. I really think he'll have a role. He's not slated as a starter, but I really think he'll have a nice role on this roster in this upcoming season. I think he's got a very bright future on the Las Vegas Raiders. Jacorian Bennett, just a really intriguing player to me. But 2 players from last year's draft class that I was so freaking big on, and they had great games. Neil Farrell Jr., last year selected, and Adam Butler last year not also selected. But Adam Butler really producing. Matthew Butler, last year's 5th round draft pick. Oh my goodness gracious. We didn't see too much from him in the regular season last year. This past game, although the stats don't necessarily back it up, Matthew Butler had a very, very good game. A little surprising that he did not get slated for a sack, but he was all over, just like Malcolm Koonce. He didn't get a statistical sack, but he was all over forcing sacks. Just these guys, this Raiders defense was all over the frickin' football. Trey Lance should have thrown 2 interceptions. I mean, he easily should have thrown 2 interceptions. The Raiders could have easily had 3 picks. The first one, Duke Shelley dropping it. Sam Webb getting that 4th quarter interception against Brandon Allen. The defense is hungry, man. This is something we've been preaching all offseason. Don't disregard this defense just because, the only big-time names you see there are, Max Crosby or whatever. It's a really hungry freaking defense. I think these guys want it badly. And I don't think that this defense will be worse than, let's say, 20th in the National Football League, and you pair it up with a top 10 offense. The Raiders could sneak into the playoffs. They could shock a ton of people this upcoming season. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker only finished with 1 rush for 3 yards. He only finished with 1 catch for 15 yards. But there was a Trey Tucker catch from Aiden O'Connell that ended up getting reversed. It was beautiful. Trey Tucker is one fast-ass dude, and Josh McDaniels is going to put him in the right places in this upcoming season. Do not be surprised if Trey Tucker has 500-plus receiving yards this upcoming season. In fact, I think he will. Keelan Cole, 6 catches, 29 yards, and a touchdown. Cole Frothingham, 5 catches, 71 yards. A lot of positives in the passing game, man. A lot of freaking positives in the passing game. So, I know a lot of these rookies didn't play. A lot of the first-string starters didn't play. But at the end of the day, I thought they looked solid. I think the offensive line, especially on the right side of things, they were keeping Aiden upright, only allowed 1 sack. Things are looking good for the Las Vegas Raiders right now. That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Raiders content. But guys, go ahead, give me a grade on the Raiders' first preseason game down below in the comment section. I'm going to give them an A. I think you could go anywhere. A-, A. You could even say A+, but I'm going to go with a firm A. Peace.